Focus on yourself. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's a blessing to stand here today, and I want to talk to you about something that, if you let it, can change the direction of your life. This isn't something that you need money for. You don't need fancy degrees, connections, or status. All you need is to make a decision to focus on yourself. That's it. It sounds simple, but I promise you it's one of the hardest things you'll ever do. And it's also the most necessary. We live in a world that's filled with distractions. Social media, television, the opinions of others. Every day you're bombarded with messages about who you should be, what you should look like, what you should have. But let me ask you, when was the last time you sat with yourself? I mean, really sat with yourself, not the version of you that other people see, but the real you. The you that only you know. The one with the dreams you keep tucked away, because you're afraid of what might happen if you try and fail. Now, I'm here to tell you that failure is a part of the process. It's not the end, it's just a step. When you focus on yourself, you begin to understand that failure is feedback. It's information. It's showing you what doesn't work so you can figure out what does. But you'll never get that if you're too busy worrying about what everyone else is doing. You can't grow when you're focused on other people's grass. You gotta water your own. Self-focus isn't selfish, it's necessary. You can't pour from an empty cup. You can't get what you don't have. If you're not investing in your growth, your peace, your happiness, what exactly are you giving to the world? What are you giving to your family, your friends, your work, your dreams? Now, let me tell you something. Focusing on yourself doesn't mean shutting out the world. It doesn't mean you stop caring about others. What it does mean is that you stop letting the world dictate your worth. You stop measuring yourself by what you don't have and start appreciating what you do. And let me tell you, when you start to focus on yourself, when you start to put your energy into your own growth, amazing things happen. You start to discover that you are enough. You've always been enough. You just didn't realize it because you were too busy comparing yourself to everyone else. But when you take that time, when you focus, you start to see that you have everything you need to be successful, to be happy, to be fulfilled. But let me be real with you. Focusing on yourself is not easy. It's not glamorous. It's not always fun. Sometimes it means doing the hard things. It means being honest with yourself about your flaws, your weaknesses, your mistakes. It means taking accountability for your life, no more blaming other people, no more excuses. When you focus on yourself, you become the author of your own story. You stop letting other people write your chapters. But that requires work. It requires discipline. It requires a level of honesty that can be uncomfortable. But let me tell you something. Growth happens in discomfort. Change happens when you step outside of what's easy and what's familiar. If you're always comfortable, you're not growing. You're just staying where you are. And where you are might be fine. But is it where you want to be? Is it where you deserve to be? There's greatness inside each and every one of you, but you won't find it by looking out there. You won't find it in someone else's success or someone else's validation. And here's the thing, when you focus on yourself, right here, when you start to invest in your own growth, when you focus on yourself, you unlock potential you didn't even know you had. Benefits. You tap into the strength, because when you're the power that's been inside you, inspire others to be their best selves. You can't give what you don't have, but when you focus on yourself, when you fill your cup, it overflows. And that's when real change happens. That's when real impact happens. I want you to imagine something for a moment. Imagine a world where every person was focused on becoming the best version of themselves. Imagine what that world would look like. There'd be less envy, less bitterness, less competition. Because people would be too busy building themselves up to tear anyone else down. They'd be too busy chasing their own dreams to worry about anyone else's. And let me tell you, when you're focused on yourself, when you're walking in your purpose, the right people will come into your life. The right opportunities will present themselves. But that won't happen if you're focused on everyone else. You see, when you focus on yourself, you're aligning yourself with your destiny. You're putting yourself in a position to receive the blessings that are meant for you. Now, I want to leave you with this: focusing on yourself is not a one-time thing. It's a daily practice. It's a daily practice. It's a commitment you make to yourself every single day. It's choosing in every moment to honor yourself, to show up for yourself, to be patient with yourself, to love yourself, because at the end of the day, you're all you've got. And if you don't invest in yourself, who will? If you don't take the time to grow, to heal, to learn, to evolve, who's going to do that for you? Nobody can live your life for you. Nobody can walk your path. So take ownership of your life. Take ownership of your growth. Take ownership of your happiness. And when you do that, when you focus on yourself, you become unstoppable. You become the person you were always meant to be. So I challenge you today, stop looking outside of yourself for validation, for worth, for happiness. Look within, focus on yourself. Because when you do, the world opens up in ways you can't even imagine. Thank you.